Mike Jones, great NFL writer, columnist, thinker, scholar, has this headline: with Lamar Jackson, NFL owners show its control they care about the most. And let the church say, amen. And amen again. As a matter of fact, the sermon is just getting started there. Mike Jones joins us, and Mike, I think the three of us agree on that. But let's drill down some more on that. They care about control more than anything because what leads you to that conclusion?
Well, if it's all about winning, then you would definitely do what you got to do to make sure that you can acquire or retain one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. We've seen them do all kinds of things in the name of winning. They'll look the other way when a player's got baggage. They will, pay somebody. They'll do all kinds of things if it puts them in better position to win. But here they are with an opportunity, either the Ravens to re-sign Lamar Jackson to a long-term extension, or other teams to jump in and start bidding for him, and nobody's doing it because they don't want to continue what the Browns started with these huge, fully guaranteed deals like Deshaun Watson got. And so because of that, there's a lot of people that believe, and it's hard to argue with them, that there's a wink nod agreement. Hey, we're not doing this anymore. Nobody jump in on this because we are not going to continue to reset the market after what the Browns did.
Now, I get that we've been talking about Lamar Jackson for pretty much like the past 3 months ad nauseum. And it seems like this has come to an obvious point of where we are now, where there's a non-exclusive franchise tag. And it seems like there's this sort of, we can just call it collusion, it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you think this ends? Do you think this ends with Lamar Jackson coming to camp, playing on a non-exclusive tag, sitting out? Or do you think that there's a team that bucks the trend? Because my feeling, Mike, is after Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow's got to get paid. And there's going to be more quarterbacks who are going to get paid. This cycle is not going to stop. It's going to continue with someone else. How does this end with him?
Yeah, that's a really good question because, I could see a scenario where he decides, okay, fine, I'm going to play out the tag here and then see what happens next year. We saw Kirk Cousins do that in Washington, 2016, 2017, where he played on back-to-back years with the tag. Then he went to Minnesota on a fully guaranteed deal. But it depends on where the feelings are here. How upset is Lamar with the way things are played out? Because he could say, hey, I'm not going to report. And then maybe there are some conversations where someone says, hey, look, we're not going to give you a fully guaranteed deal, but we're going to give you this amount. Or maybe they do go ahead and say, hey, we're not going to go a $250 million deal to top Deshaun Watson, but we'll give you a shorter deal where we'll give you 3 years, $144 million, get you at $48 million a year, and then you'll be able to hit free agency again. Maybe that appeals to him, and then someone will go ahead and pull the trigger on a deal. It's hard to say because he doesn't have an agent. So this thing isn't playing out as conventionally as maybe we would see it there. But for right now, looks like Lamar is being, the shrewd businessman, sticking to what he feels like he's worth. And so far, nobody is biting. But that doesn't mean that eventually they won't.
It's so funny. I mentioned this yesterday, Vinny and Mike. And that Tom Pelissero tweet is just part of the whole patchwork that happens with the NFL. It's not just a business. It is a multi-billion-dollar operation. It's a system. And Lamar Jackson and anybody on his team, when you're going against City Hall, the State House, the White House, when you're going against the government, you better have your stuff in order. And so I'm on Lamar's side, but he's just unprepared to deal with this apparatus that the NFL is. They're dirty, man. They're dirty. Right. They do all kinds of dirty-ish to make the point. And so now they put out this memo, which is funny. They didn't mean it to be funny. The memo's funny. Hey, I just want to tell you teams, don't negotiate with this guy because he's not a certified agent. No, that ain't what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is we're colluding, and here it is. We're colluding. Don't talk to them. They're the enemy. We're doing it under the guise of he's not a certified agent. They don't give a damn if this guy is certified or not. What they want to happen is what's happening. And I wonder, Mike and Vinny, just weigh in on this. I wonder if Lamar was he ready for this? Did he know that they would play? They ain't playing no fair fight.
Right. I don't think that. I don't think he was, because, talking to someone heading into last season, they felt like his stance was, look, if I want to be here, but if Baltimore doesn't want to pay me, somebody's going to pick up the phone and want me. There's going to be teams that come after me. I think he was not expecting that, like you said, there would be this dirty game where they all get together, in their billionaire, clubs where they hang out and say, hey, we ain't going to do this. And it doesn't matter how badly you need a quarterback. We've got to hold the line because, like you said, Vinny, Joe Burrow's coming. Justin Herbert's coming. Jalen Hurts is coming. And if they keep on resetting the market, it's bad for their business. And Steve Bisciotti was outspoken about this when Deshaun Watson got his. So he definitely doesn't want to be the guy that winds up opening the floodgates.
Well, I tend to think a little bit differently. I think Lamar has more cards than people give him credit for. Like, for him to go to Louisville and for him to play the way that he played, to put the fire under Bobby Petrino's feet and to wind up being the quarterback that he became there, I think he's a little more shrewd than people are giving him credit for. And I do wonder if I do believe it's more so going to play out in his favor more than people believe. But Mike, my question, I want to spin it forward. The draft is a few weeks away, and we know that the Carolina Panthers made the trade to get up to number one. And you've been hearing Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Richardson. Is all of these questions obscuring the fact that Bryce Young should be the number one pick and we're just rearranging some deck chairs? Or are there real questions that maybe it's my Michigan sensibilities, and I saw CJ Stroud, not come up big against Michigan a couple times. Yeah. You see that score behind me that says 45-26.
I see the score.
Now,
yeah.
But by and large, are we just missing the boat that Bryce Young should be the number one pick and people are just overthinking themselves?
No, I mean, I think it depends on who you talk to. Everybody's got a different flavor. There are some people who do believe that Bryce Young could be the number one pick and deserves to be the number one pick. But then, everybody evaluates talent differently. It does seem like there is interest there on Carolina's part with CJ Stroud. And there are a number of draft analysts, guys who are in the inside who are evaluating talent who feel like, oh, maybe Stroud is the guy. Size is a thing. We're hearing a lot about Bryce Young's size. And, then you wonder about durability and everything. From everybody I've talked to, they said, hey, look, I don't think the size is going to be an issue. Yes, he's got to be with a creative coach who's going to move him outside the pocket and things like that. But they feel like, hey, this guy's got the ability, even though he's not the biggest guy. So we'll see. There's a lot of, smoke screens and things like that. We call this lying season because just because somebody says something doesn't mean that's what they're actually going to do. It's going to be intriguing to see which one of those two it is, though.
I wonder what you think of I call it the theater of it all with pro days. I mean, you saw CJ Stroud, and everybody is there from Carolina. He's hugging up Frank Reich, and then McCown is there. You see Jim Caldwell, like a lot of hugs. And, hey, man, good to see you. I mean, first of all, it doesn't really mean anything, does it? I mean, the pro day, I know we talk a lot about the pro day. Hey, here we go. Here's live coverage of Bryce Young's pro day, live coverage of CJ Stroud's pro day. I saw him play, not just against Michigan. I saw him play against Georgia. I saw him make throws that weren't against the air. And there were defenders there. And there was a crowd and game situation. Really, isn't this just like a nice trip for scouts and coaches? What are you really gleaning from a guy's pro day?
You think somebody making a nice trip to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
They just hanging. It's just out of the office, Vinny. It's a trip out of the office. You're hanging with your boys. Hey, really, Mike, what are you learning here?
I mean, it's one of those things that they do because it's been done for so long and they want to just double check. But the thing is, yes, you're exactly right. They have all the body of work. They've got all the game film. They've got all the footage. But it's just, okay, another high pressure situation. Let's see how he does when all the attention's on him. Yes, he's in shorts and T-shirts. There's no big 300-pound lineman crashing in on him. But again, it's just, okay, we think that we know what we see. Let's just see it one more time. Let's see how the guy is when we interact with him, we go to dinner with him and all that. It's just all part of the, like you said, the theater, the dating game that the whole lead up to the NFL draft is.
Now, you just said it, dating game. So think dating game in your mind. And I'm younger than both of y'all. And this is going to upset our producer, so? Natalie, but
you don't know that.
I'm quite sure I'm younger than both of you. I'm absolutely quite sure. And this will let me know. This will certainly let me know Mike Jones' sensibilities, because we're going to talk about this next segment before we go. Mike Jones, got this great question for you. I need the most honest answer that you could give. If you a single man and you going on a date and you riding out with a young lady in the car, you listening to Jodeci or Boys to Men?
Oh, definitely Boys to Men. I mean, what are we doing?
Hey.
What are we doing? I mean, do you need me to start singing like which Boys to Men song we're going to be listening to? I mean, what are you doing? Is that a trick question? What? I don't understand. I thought this was going to be a hard question you're about to hit me with.
That is peak light skin. That's what that is. That is peak light skin of you.
See,
Mike
you just
Jones.
oh my
God.
You just like that. You just like that. You're just like the voters and the fans. Hey, somebody tell you something you don't want to hear. Now you got to insult him. Now his name calling. Now why? Just because he disagrees with you.
Michael Holley, you agree?
Actually do. I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah.
I thought about this. I thought about that. Now, real quick, Mike, before we go, because I'll tell Vinny on the other side what my logic is. But why do you say Boys to Men over Jodeci?
I mean, you're trying to set the mood, right?
Okay. Say no more.
I mean,
say no more. Well said.
Should I start singing
Mike
right
Jones?
now?
What song you setting the mood with Boys to Men? End of the road? That's what you said in the mood? It's so hard to say goodbye.
Like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight. I mean, what are we doing?
Don't sing it.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Now, Mike, you are a brilliant reporter. I really love the way I love your writing, all this stuff. Don't do that. Don't do that, Mike. Mike,
our poor
don't
guy
do
didn't
that.
know the words, so I had to help him out.
Hey. Don't. The words ain't the problem, Mike. It's the singing. But I love you, man.
Both.
I love you.
It's both.
Enjoy your weekend.
It's
both.
both. It's all of it.
Good selection, though. I like your selection. Vinny, it makes sense. And I'll explain it to you. In a couple minutes. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.